Episode 5, we all the way live. It's just us and your boy Darrick, aka
Yes,
Tankovelli. You
Back
know,
with
holla at me.
back with another episode of the Lower 48ers. This is DJ. Yeah, we were gonna have a special guest today, but they're kind of MIA, so we're just repping it, the two of us, and Chris is out doing Chris stuff. We don't always need him here, but it's an added bonus when he comes and messes up the technology. So if y'all were wondering why last week the sound and there was no Chris recording for like half the episode, that's because Chris doesn't know how to save the
That show
sound,
must go
the
on.
recording. So that's not my fault. That's all him. Well, shit, man. It feels good to be back in Alaska. Last week I was out in Minneapolis. It's nice and warm and sunny here.
But yeah,
I was wearing shorts and a t-shirt to the grocery store today. It was 45 degrees
went
out.
down to
The
Pollard's
sun's
Marsh.
out. Denali's out. We're all
I know
out.
I had to record, so I'm like, I'm about to chill in the crib.
Yeah, he said I got a demanding task. I've been doing homework all day. My master's program, we started back up with that, and I'm gonna start my my UAA
Boy, you
program
going to
here
two different
soon.
colleges.
It's
That's kind
gonna
of crazy.
be demanding, but hey, I found out my organization's gonna pay for it, so we're all good on that end. Yeah, bro. Look, 10 years ago, I would have never thought I would be going to two different colleges
That's
to get
kind
my
of
master's
crazy.
degree and another degree, let alone go back to school at all. So, it's crazy. It's just, it's needed. Hopefully,
That's awesome.
I mean, I can't get student loans for
I wish my organization
UAA
worked like
program,
that. They just pay it
with the
once you
organization
graduate.
that I work for paying for it, it's going to be cool. So, yeah. So, yeah. That was it, like 10%? Yeah, mom's fully covered. But I saw, that brings up something I saw earlier today. One of my buddies, Charlie, sent me a story of a kid that I went to college with. He worked for JD Vance, and he's like being blown up right now on what is it, like Vox, the news articles, the news station. Yeah. And like all those like left wing news channels. He worked for JD Vance, and he had like a burner Reddit account that he was like talking about how he does like a bunch of experimental drugs and everything. And the dude I went to school with, and he was like, how do you get, my boy Charlie's like, how do you start working for Fair Housing? I'm like,
I wonder
damn,
what it was like working for JD Vance. It
working for the housing
fun.
orgs after leaving JD Vance. That's crazy. But I digressed. He was working there when he was a senator, but since he's not senator of Ohio, since he's not senator anymore, he doesn't have a job. So it is what it is, and it feels good. I haven't drank in a while. Well,
I did get drunk.
I had a little bit to drink yesterday, but I'm not drunk. I haven't been drunk in a while. Yeah, I had a beer. I had what is it, Sapporo. Went to Samurai Sushi. Shout out Samurai Sushi. It's better than Ronnie too.
Got good oysters too. I'm just saying, you just gotta order
the oysters from Samurai Sushi. Man, I'll tell you what, those are some good oysters.
Oh yeah?
Nah, bro. They put the what's it called? The fish eggs on it, and it's delicious. Oh man, for those that watch the podcast, this is not a wedding ring. I did not get married. This is on my right hand. See, look, that's my right arm tattoo. This is an Oura ring. This isn't a paid advertisement, but it keeps track of all my health data. It's like an Apple Watch before a ring. So, so don't get any ideas that I got married over the weekend or some shit. So,
hey, how's that work though, man? I mean,
yeah. That's a plug. I'm still single.
Give you like important stats that you feel like you're learning a lot about yourself?
I could show you.
It got deep. It got deep real quick.
I'm always learning stuff about myself. My triggers, my emotions, everything.
You trying
So it always checks in. Right now, my activity goal, I've burned 300 calories out of a 10,000 calorie goal for today. So I got, or not 10,000, 1,000 calorie goal. Sorry. So I got some work to do. But it keeps track of my heart rate, keeps track of my readiness. My readiness score is actually pretty good for today because I slept for 10 hours. But the readiness score shows how ready you are for the day. It guides you to strike a balance between activity and rest. After today's introduction, it will be accompanied by personalized insights. Because I've only had the ring for 2 days. So, it has like a bunch of insights and everything on there. And like all mine's optimal, which is good. But my lowest heart rate for today was 63 beats per minute, which could probably be better. But, my sleep score, this is funny. My sleep score was a 50 on Friday because I just couldn't sleep on Friday. But yesterday it was or this morning,
I feel like I
was a
need that. I feel like my
86.
sleep score is shit.
But then I
Bro.
took a
wake
nap,
up
so now it's down to a 79.
4 times a night.
Yeah, it will tell me what my breathing regularity is. It says several variations in your blood oxygen levels were detected. This can indicate that you
Nah,
experience many
look, I
breathing
want to get me a
disturbances in your
CPAP
sleep.
machine
So it's low
because
key trying to tell me I have
everybody
sleep
I know that
apnea,
got
but
one talk
I don't
about
believe
how
in big
great their
medicine,
sleep
so
is.
I'm not gonna believe
And
it.
sleep is important, man. Whenever you know how you feel after you get a good night's sleep, when you actually sleep, you feel like you can do anything. Yeah, 86. I'm trying to get
I
that
just told you my
CPAP. I'm
sleep
trying to
score.
get
Yeah,
that.
so the ring
Sound
knows.
like
The
Darth
ring
Vader
knows
when
that
I
I had a
sleep.
good day. Yeah, I'm a good sleep. So it is what it is. I don't believe in CPAP. I just went to the doctor on what was it, Monday, and she gave me new anxiety meds, and because I've been having some anxiety problems lately. She boosted my current script. She was like, I asked her, I was like, yeah, you give me something that's like as needed and instant. She's like, you mean a benzo? I don't want to give you a benzo. I was like, I knew you were going to say that. She said, yeah, because they're addictive. I'm like, well, give me what you got then. So she upped my script that I have now. But
They got more
that's the only
discreet
thing I
ones
trust
too.
doctors for. I don't need sleep apnea treatments because I don't want to look like Darth Vader or sound like Darth Vader too, Well, I'm a stomach sleeper, so sitting there
And you should just invest in like that mouth tape.
all night, that just doesn't sound good to me, I'm gonna be
Have like,
sleeping on my stomach. So
speaking of that, did you see that video of the dude? Like he showed like
I've
his
seen
morning
that.
routine. He wake up
I've
like at
seen
4 in
mouth
the
tape.
morning, and he has the mouth tape on. And then he gets like this whatever it is, sparkling water, and pours it into an ice bucket and dips his face in it. And he gets a banana peel. And he's like rubbing his bro. That's supposedly this is his daily morning routine. And then he just kind of goes and shows what he does. And I'm like,
That's his
first of all,
daily
I don't
routine.
understand the mouth tape thing. When I saw that, I was kind of confused. I'm like, is this some dominatrix type shit or whatever? People into some weird shit. So I was like, maybe he just showing his kink. I don't understand the mouth tape. It just look weird to me. What is it for? To make them shut their mouth when they sleep, or
I know people who use mouth tape, and
what happens when your nose gets
yeah,
stuffy?
I guess,
Like, is
yeah.
it like
So
a
instead of
fail safe?
sleeping with their mouth open, there's
Does your mouth
sleep with
just
it
like,
closed. Teaches
you
you how
know,
to breathe out of your nose when you sleep.
hey, that sounds like their problem, I can't God. Anyway, yeah. So it made me think about like
Yeah, see, that's why I don't use mouth
having a
tape.
morning routine. I feel like I have a morning routine, but it ain't that. My morning routine is wake up, look at TikTok for like 10 minutes in my bed, take a shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
My morning routine is real quick. I wake up at like 7:15. Well, no, it all starts at like 5 in the morning when I let Denali out, and then I go back to sleep. I wake up at like 7:15, take a shower, and get ready. I'm normally at work by like so my day is supposed to start at 8, but I don't have to be there technically until 8:30. So, I like to show up at like 8:05, 8:15. So, but
He make up for the 30 minutes.
I am the boss,
That's
so
cool.
I stay late. I
That's
stay
cool.
there. We only work till 4:30, so I'm there till 5 every day, pretty much. So
Now I'll say I wake up, take my morning shit, get ready, moisturize my skin, cook breakfast for me and my wife. And yeah, I just like cooking breakfast. I don't know. I feel like I'm one of those people that, like, if I don't make my bed up, I don't
that's
do
because you got
certain
a
stuff,
family.
I
You got to
feel
cook
out of
breakfast.
place. Like, my day don't feel right unless I'm doing completing some type of task. And that kind of started from my childhood. Like my dad always say, like your first task of the day is making your bed up, you know? So just, that's why, nah, that's school shit.
Was that your
I don't even
dad
think we
or
made our bed
the
up that, but
what was that
we could
place
get
that
into that.
the
That's a,
boarding school that you went to?
you want to talk about that? We could listen. All right,
So
story time.
yeah, so Darrick, when he was
Gather
younger,
around, children.
he went to a boarding school, but I'm not gonna tell you what type. I'm gonna let
So
him tell
I
you.
used to go to this church, and I think it's a cult. It's kind of crazy, right? So little backstory. Yeah, it's a cult. Like this church, like
The way you
kind of
described it
worship
is,
the leaders, the bishops of the church. Like people will have pictures of them. Like we had pictures of the bishops in our house. Like you walk through the hallway, it's not like family pictures. It's like, and it's all districts. But anyway, so my church had a private school, and it was in Winter Haven, Florida. I lived in Tampa. So how it would go is like every Monday morning, they'll bus us kids from Tampa to this duplex that we call apartments. Now, you know, black people, we don't say apartments. You just say apartments, you know. So take us to the apartments, and it was like, I would say it was like a two bedroom duplex. So it was like three different, no, it was like four different units. So one was the boys, one was the girls, one was just some other family standing there. And then it was like the caretakers had their own kind of thing. So the boys, it was two bedrooms, but it was like two beds in each room. So with two boys in each bed. And then it was two beds in the living room with kind of same format. And this shit was kind of crazy because the people they had watching us was like an old couple. And the dad, he never really watched us. He just come in randomly and then give us whoopings. Like, but the type of bullying and shit that went on, there was like this older kid. He was like way older than us. And like, he just used to like terrorize the younger kids and bully us. Like, I remember my bunkmate, he was asleep and this dude hit him in the face with an iron, you know. I happened to be up because I used to be too afraid to go to sleep. Like my sleep was so light, any type of movement by me would wake me up. So that's just to name some of the shit that would go on. And a lot of people that went there, they traumatized. Like I got a cousin that kind of wrote a book. He wrote a book called Courageous Vulnerability. Man, you can get that shit by by Justin Wilson. Get it on Amazon. I'll plug that for Cuzzo. But he wrote a book talking about, yeah, bro, he always on TikTok live. He do a lot of interviews and stuff talking about the experiences at that church. And
yeah, I'm a get that.
And all my other cousins that went, because like my whole family went there. So a lot of people was affected mentally by that. And a lot of the parents like kind of didn't take it serious, you know what I'm saying? But I ain't gonna put the blame on them. But yeah, the way that church was like a cult, and they got a weird thing. Like they tell you like you of the world. Like if you don't go there, oh, like he in the world now. Like so some of my family, like I haven't hung out with them in so long since we left the church, you know. So it's kind of like we outsiders now. You know, I still love them. I see them, we speak, but it ain't like that same closeness like we used to have. But yeah, man, that program that I was in, man, we used to fight every day. We had like a fight club. Like we just used to fight every that was it. You had to fight to survive pretty much. Hey man, Jews be bullying? I thought that was the nicest people.
Hey, it's okay. I got bullied in Hebrew school, so that's why I left Hebrew school.
They said
Yeah,
they
you
gonna
know,
repair you and put some
we're
hands on you.
yeah, we're supposed to tikkun olam, but you know, some of them don't want to repair the world. They decide not to. That's what that's what tikkun olam means. It means repair the world. But yeah, so I was like going through Hebrew school, and I was kind of dumb, so I had like learning problems, and I couldn't really read Hebrew like the rest of the kids. So they would call me stupid, and I was like, nah, that ain't it. So I beat up my bully, and then I decided not to go back to school.
Like it's kind of crazy because like his mom got like a nonprofit dedicated to him, but I never told her. But like when he died, I was like kind of happy. I was like, you know, the shit that this dude, you know what I'm saying, put me through. Yeah, it was like, we was all younger. You know, we like 5, 6, 7. He was already like a preteen
Yeah,
teenager,
put
you
others
know,
through, because you
so
weren't the only one.
it was easy. And I used to try to fight, but I can't beat him up. But, you know, it wasn't until like some of my older cousins came and it
Yeah,
kind of stopped because they was bigger and could fight a little bit better. Yeah, it turns out like he had like all kind of like mental health issues. So, I mean, it gave me like sort of a closure to know that I'm dealing with. I was dealing with a mentally ill person. Yeah. Yeah, and then black people don't even think about mental illness like that anyway. They're having a
At
therapist,
especially
you
a
better
young
go
age,
talk
you
to
know,
the
you don't even
pastor, you know
notice
what
it.
I'm saying? Like, hey, you need Jesus. After they say, nah, you need Jesus. You just need to pray.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, for sure.
I mean, that's why it's good and important for people to hear two men talking like this openly, you know? So, you know, it's good. I mean, I don't take shame in speaking on my mental health issues. I know I have some, and, you know, I think that kind of dives into a little tidbit I wanted to talk about, which is, you know, it speaks to your divine masculinity when you talk about your mental health issues, because
Uh,
it's not what people think masculinity is. Divine masculinity is the opposite of what masculinity, like toxic masculinity, is. Uh, divine masculinity refers to the highest expression of masculine energy, embodying the qualities of strength, wisdom, protection, leadership, and integrity. You know, obviously, strength and courage, not just physical, but emotional and spiritual intelligence. I try to embody that every day. So it's a weird world that we live in when people would
and it's
rather
sad
be
because a lot of us grew up under
toxic
toxic
masculine than
masculinity,
divine
whether
masculine.
it came from like the men in our lives or even like the expectations for, you know, men. And I can say this, like, I don't know for you and your culture, but like in black culture, it's like a lot of women felt like what a real man was. Like you had to be hard, you had to kind of be like a thug. You know, men couldn't express no emotion. Like if you, you know, if you express any type of emotion, that's like, oh, you acting like a female, or they say you acting like a bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, and
Yeah, a lot of Jewish women are strong in the sense of like in the Jewish culture, men are like the leader, but it's still
see,
a
it's kind of
matriarchal.
opposite with us. It's patriarchal, but what I learned, which is crazy, like a lot of the men, I feel like wanted to be the head, but didn't really earn it. And it was really the women that was holding it down, but they postured themselves like, and I didn't realize that until, and
Mm-hmm.
it's no way, because these men are great men, but like when my grandma and her twin passed away, I saw the difference in my uncle and my grandfather, how they are now versus how they used to be. And I realized, I was like, man, you know, their women really was holding them down. You know, even though like they still would respect them and
Mm.
let them have the authority. But I'm like, man, they wouldn't have had the level of respect they had if it weren't for the women that was kind of, so it's kind of, I guess in a way, it is a matriarchal, but it's just kind of unspoken. And you couldn't acknowledge it, you know. No, what I'm saying is like they were, my grandma, my aunt were like just so on point. We're holding down the household. Like we would go to my grandma, you know, my grandma's house was a spot. Like we could go there anytime. Like that was like our safe house. You know, we could go to the club 3 or 4 in the morning. I could call my grandma like, hey, I don't feel like going
Yeah.
home. I'm finna come to your house. She was like, all right, you know, she'll be up watching Netflix or whatever. We just go over there and crash. When she left, my granddaddy was like, we could come unannounced. We had a key. We knew the alarm code, so we could just show up. Then my granddaddy was kind of like, nah, like, you just can't
Okay.
show up. I don't even, and my cousin, like, I'm like, when the last time y'all been over there? Shit, since grandma died, you know, ain't nobody been over there. And I ain't been over there since 2022. And I used to live there, you know, I used to be over there all the time. Yes, my grandma, you know, I just go kick it with grandma. And then my uncle, he still like, now my uncle maintained that, like, I could go pop up and chill with him, but like the house just don't feel the
Right.
same. You know what I'm saying? Like the upkeep of it, it's just a different vibe. There's no way trying to diss him because I love my granddaddy, but it's just you don't realize like how great our women are because they gotta take a back seat a lot of times because the man has to be the head. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I think that's what I'm saying. Is like you in the black culture is like they kind of follow what the Bible says, like the man is the head. So
Mm-hmm.
no matter how great the woman is, the man still has all the authority. So people look at him like, man, your house is so great. You're the leader of this household. You get all the credit, but really it's the women, at least in my experience, you know.
Yeah. I mean, like, so when you looked at the conservative or Hasidic or like any of the real old-fashioned Jews, the women fall in line pretty much. Like even if you when you go to synagogue, they're divided. the women can't be in the same room as the men. So like when you see those TikToks or like the reels of the Hasidic Jews dancing and everything, and they're getting lit, like they're driving the forklifts and everything while they're dancing on it. Yeah. The reason why I don't see any women in there is because they're Hasidic, so they don't allow them to intermingle outside of the home. So yeah, so that's why I'm glad I'm not Hasidic, but I think probably further down, or not further down the line, but you know, I've been doing a deep dive into my Jewish ancestry in the last couple of months, and like I come across names like Moses, Abraham, like all the good names that you would just expect of a Jewish person. And I've sent you some pictures of them. But it's crazy. It's like you guys must have been real Orthodox, because you know Reform Judaism wasn't really a thing up until like
what made them reform?
I don't wanna speak on it. Probably like the AIDS, it wasn't really a thing until then. Fuck if I know. You know, just changing ways, you know, because Reformed Jews, they see things as how it is, you know, it's changing. So they need to be progressive, and you can't go with what the Torah says from 1,000 years ago, you know, or the Talmud says from 1,000 years ago. You need to constantly evolve.
If you look at
go along with
this is kind of a deep dive, because like, so the church that I went to before we left, they had, I don't know, it was so weird. Like the way they did stuff there was like, I think they just misunderstood the Bible. So, and I can't even remember a message that they preached there, like how it made sense. The guy who started it, he called himself an apostle. He named the church Pentecostal Church of God. And it wasn't Pentecostal. It was more like Jehovah's Witness. And we kind of learned the backstory that he was a Jehovah's Witness, but he was like a businessman. He came from Chicago, I believe, and he tried to start a church in Detroit first, and it didn't work. And then he came down to Winter Haven, Florida, which is kind of like, you know, back then especially, it was more like a rural country town, and started a church there. But this dude was on TV. I'm talking about during the 50s. Black man. He had his own airplane. He had a trucking business. He had hotels. I mean, but he was a businessman, and then he created these rules for the church. So like, they believe they're the only church going to heaven, and and you couldn't date or mingle with people outside the church. Like, this how bad it was. My mom and dad got married. My grandfather couldn't get my mom away.
Checks out.
Like my mom, my aunt, my granddaddy, my grandma, and my aunt had to be members of the church to be in the wedding. Like, they could not be in the wedding. And so my uncle David, which is my dad's uncle, had to give my mom away. And yeah, it was just like these strict rules, and like, man, yeah, that it was a lot of crazy shit that went down. But they had a kind of they don't, like, even now they don't grow with the times. They still have a old mentality of what church is. Like, I wish they would break that. Like, man, I seen my cousins argue with Mormons. Like, it's entertaining, but it's sad at the same time, because like, they really, like, they don't celebrate no holidays, like Christmas, shit. They hardly celebrate their birthday. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had to get permission to play Little League football. Like, you had to go to Bishop, like, hey, can my son play Little League football? I couldn't have action figures because they were called images. You know, it would say don't worship false idols. They took that shit literal. Like, you can't have a toy because that's worshiping false idols. Yeah, bro. But I feel like it was necessary. Crazy. So that kind of said, like,
I get that though.
What was going on during that time, especially like when you hear about
what the Bible says.
When the Jews was coming out of Egypt, but they was worshiping Egyptian gods, they had to, you know, they had to be like, no, you can't do this. Don't build no statue of God. He don't want nothing built in his image. So that's why we like historical context. You understand why. So it makes sense to be like, well, we're not in those times no more, so we don't have to follow that rule so strict. Not saying you're going to build false idols, but having a toy is not worshiping that toy. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. No, I mean, even if, like, you know,
and
worshiping,
funny,
like, Donald Trump
is kind of like how
Elon Musk.
MAGA is,
you know,
for Donald Trump. Like,
worship false
idols.
idols.
He says,
you know?
God chose him. He's God's chosen person.
Yep. No, I've heard that a lot. My grandma. Sorry, Grandma, if you're listening to this, I'm gonna call you out. In 2016, when Trump won the election, she looks at me and she goes, God chooses the kings and then
He
walks
also
away.
gets
And
kings killed, but that's a whole other story.
never been so mad at an old white woman in my life.
You know, but yeah, man. I mean, they didn't say that when Obama won, apparently. But you know, like
Well,
black
yeah,
people, we
because
was happy when
Obama's not a
Obama
king.
won.
He's
You know,
a
first black
he's a
president, but we
Muslim from
wasn't acting
Africa.
like how Obama acted. It
Oh,
was
yeah.
because
I mean, we kind of
it
did.
was the historical
We were
reason
listening
why.
to
You know, it's like,
My
wow,
President is
man.
Black,
We never
you
thought,
know?
because Tupac say we ain't gonna see a black president. So that was we'll never see one. Then we got one. So it felt like anything was possible. Trump is like, he is a hate personified. You know, I don't think he's a godly man at all. Nothing he does, if you know God, you'll know nothing he does is godly. You know what I mean? And even if you're a non-believer, you could still read the Bible and know what God and Jesus stood for. And you will easily know that ain't him, you know. So
I agree with you, you know? I
well, let me ask you this. I made a post on Facebook because
don't know. I
I
forgot what I was
follow
going
a
to say.
lot of, it's a lot of black consciousness going on.
I was thinking
And
of something,
it's a belief that we
but
going under
yeah.
another black renaissance. And somebody was like, specifically it was Deontay Kyle. This dude, he was like, man, I believe that black love is the real revolution for black people. And then somebody else, and then somebody else was like, yeah, that's true. Because Al Green, Let's Stay Together, was
Oh,
like a
yeah, I saw
love
that.
letter
I
to
didn't read
black
all of it,
culture,
but I saw
because
it.
that he made that song right when all the leaders was getting assassinated. You know, a lot of the movements was getting dismantled. And it's like, yeah, if you think about it, like for us, we hated ourselves because they hated us. You didn't like being black because it's like, man, segregation. And then as soon as we start having pride, you seen people come together, that whole black pride movement, oh, let's see a brother. Hey, what's going on, brother? But I feel like it's so much hate within our own community going on with the YNs, and we can't come together because it's a lot of self-hate going on. But I feel like that for a lot of groups though.
Yeah, and I think, yeah, no, there is. I like to call a Jew that hates another Jew a capo, because capos were the Jews that would listen to what the Nazis said and would, so like in the concentration camps, which
No, they don't
is
even
off
want to know
topic, but
the
one of my
real
friends texted
Holocaust
me. She
jokes.
said, I just listened to your podcast and I love how you casually bring up Holocaust jokes. But yeah, capos were they were Jews inside concentration camps and ghettos that would pretty much beat other Jews because they had power, and so I attribute what happens to the black population mainly because of the way that the systemic racism in the country, there is a lot of hate within the black community, but it's not because of anything. I mean, if you contribute gang violence, but it's like let's take Candace Owens, for example, she's
Right. And not just her,
conforming
it's
to the
several
white
people that's
man's
like that.
word
But
to
I think all of it, like the gang
gain
violence,
followers who
everything that
don't
the
look
black
like her,
community is going through right now is kind of like a side effect of systemic racism. The system created all these symptoms, you know what I mean? Like if they was actually fair, like we'd have got our, 40 acres in a mule like we were supposed to, if certain bills were passed. If the civil rights bill actually focused just on black people, they didn't destroy our community, we would be so far ahead. You had the slave codes was turned into black codes, and then you had the Southern strategy. All of these systemic policies put in place, even they start building the suburbs. Hey, do not rent or sell a house to a black person. Yeah, redlining,
Yeah, start redlining. Yeah. I mean, you see that up here in Alaska for like not as prominent, but
Facts.
like
Facts.
there are
I just wish like
unbiased opinions against
crazy
Alaskan natives when it comes to selling land
the easiest
and
way
houses.
for me to understand what was happening with the Alaskan natives, I had to look at it like what they were doing to us. And it's kind of similar in a sense, right? Like when Joni's telling me or anybody's telling me stuff, I'm like, I see signs like no natives, no dogs. I'm like, yo, that was like the sign that said no niggers, no Jews, no, you know what I'm saying, for us in the lower 48. But the beauty of it is they have like Nahazda that kind of helps them. And my fear is, I'm like, man, I hope Trump don't learn what that shit is, because I feel like he'd be like, yo, why they gotta get, you know what I'm saying, like, and try to eliminate, that act or the laws that help natives kind of get their land back and get themselves established, so that's kind of my fear for the native community right now, because you see, he just got rid of desegregation in the government, what's next? He trying to get rid of the Department of Education right now. I don't know what the fuck going on. And they won't. They won't. But what it does is
Well, it's not.
it
It's not going to happen.
the part that he got
Congress
rid
has to
of,
pass it
it
unanimously.
helps I guess monitor discrimination within schools. So we talking about like mental disability. So like my son is on IEP plan. It's going to affect him, and all the rest of the kids. So that's what we're facing right now. But that's why I was talking about Black love, because I can only focus on my community because I come from it. And I'll help and I feel like all the marginalized groups together need to come together. But I think once my people realize that, we got to love each other. We got to love yourself first. Then we can love each other. Then we can look at the other marginalized groups and, come together. Because when they say the power's in the people, I think people don't understand what that means. Like all working class people, like if we don't go to work, nothing moves. So we all come together, unite. The people support each other, regardless of what laws they set. If we support each other, we can sustain, And I just hope that we get to that point to where we don't just look at what I guess is identity politics. We just don't look at like our problems. Like, I don't care what happens to the next man, as long as they don't mess with my people, I'm okay. Nah, I'm like, I want to get my people right so they can look at the next man and be like, all right, now let's help them out,
Yeah, there's a quote. It's kind of lengthy, but it's like, in essence, it's like, when they came for the Jew, you didn't do anything. And when they came for the blacks, you didn't do anything. And now they're coming for you, and it's too late because there's no one there to stop it. That's in essence what that quote would be. Yeah. And so like, if you're
like MLK
not gonna stand up for anybody,
and injustice
nobody's
anywhere,
gonna stand up for you.
And injustice everywhere. And that was real. I had to tell my uncle because I was like, they didn't kill him because of civil rights. Civil rights bill already passed. They killed him because he was focusing on workers' rights. I mean, you start telling poor white people like, hey man, you need to be with us. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't give a shit about you either. That's what they don't want. They don't want what they quote unquote call the Black Messiah, which was Fred Hampton. They killed him because he had the Rainbow Coalition. They don't want to see us coming together. Like, they don't want to see this right here. Me and you having this talk, and we got Big Roy, our big native homie. We're like, hey, look, man, let's get our people right. They gonna put us on that hit list. Get rid of them.
Yep. I mean, I already got a green light somewhere.
Maybe we somebody's op. You a villain in somebody's story. I know I am. Shit.
Yep. Even if you do everything perfect. I mean, look, this little dude, that's one of my great relatives. One of the ones that
my name's business.
One of the ones that died in the Holocaust. Yeah. He's just a little dude. He didn't do nothing. Just
that's
just
sad.
lived. Yep.
That's just bad.
He looked like he's straight out from the Middle East too. But you know what? I've told you looking at it, it's like circa 1942, cause Shoah. Shoah means the Holocaust. And it's been quite a heavy experience to see. But it's also been pretty enlightening because I've actually found living family members throughout the world. Here in the U.S., found out I have some Argentinian family. So now I can say I have South American cousins. So we got Latinas now. And then some in Israel and some in Australia. And,
man,
they're just dispersed. And
I was gonna say, you a descendant of a survivor, though, man. Your people are still here because you here.
So
they live in
we're all
you
over
now.
the place. Some are still, yeah. It is generational trauma, just in a different aspect. That when we work with our clients, they have their own generational
you just
trauma.
reminded me of something.
Natives,
I need to
American
talk to you
Indians
about
have their own generational trauma, and Jews have their own. I got a new resident. And blacks have their own generational trauma.
And
so it's not linear.
She has a case manager from Covenant House, so she one of the Covey House people. And so she came to an event, and man, she was eating some food, and her friend was like, man, why you crying? She's like, this is the first time I ate in days. And bro, that shit kind of fucked with me. Everybody there was like, really? So the residents there now, they like, let's give her some stuff. So I went and got her some food box. And then later that day, one of my coworkers had an event, and she just had like left over a whole box of pizza, some other stuff. And I was like, hey, let me go take this to my resident. So I just laced up, but I was like, I'm pretty sure you might know who she is, or you might know who her case manager is. Well, I could find the name up, but yeah, but I talked to her a little bit, and she's like, you could tell like she has like depression, like real bad. And what you just said, it made me think about that. Like, man, there's so much trauma in this community, and all somebody need is just like a nice somebody there to support them. And I told my manager, I was like, well, look, I'm gonna do this stuff. I was like, but I'm gonna focus a lot of my attention on like being her support system because I could tell she don't have nothing to go days without eating. KJ made a joke. KJ was like, I never heard nobody being sad eating fried chicken. Usually you happy eating fried chicken. And I was like, yeah, that's why it's sad. Cause you like, you know what I'm saying? Damn.
Nah,
Fried chicken makes me happy. My wife said,
the only time
yeah, I
I eat
want
fried chicken
Winky's
is when I'm
wings.
sad.
I said, thank God. That's right. It make you happy.
But
She was,
see, look.
yo, and I looked over and saw her.
I
She
eat fried
biting
chicken.
it, like,
It makes me
I was
happy
like, damn,
because
man,
I eat it when I'm sad, so it makes me happy. I wish I didn't eat. Look, I went to Anchorage Hollow Market and I got some lamb and spaghetti. I'm kind of mad I had that now because some fried chicken sounds good. But no, I'm not. The lamb was delicious, and I got some Turkish delight for dessert.
That
I had some
reminds me of the
samosas
day where
with it.
you
It was
was
a real good meal.
dating
But
old girl,
that's not
and you
the
came
point.
to bring some
The
fried
point
chicken
is,
over.
some fried chicken sounds good right now.
He's looking out the window and see you coming. He was like, he said, "We gonna eat some fried chicken." I'm like, "Who?" He like, "Me and you. We gonna eat his chicken." I'm like, "Oh yeah, we gonna eat his chicken." Bro, I don't even knew what the box was, bro. He see that chicken.
Didn't even, the lights weren't even on, just knew what the box was. I was outside.
Damn, well, I love them dudes, bro.
Yes.
It was my God right there.
They must be eating fried chicken often if they know what the box looks like from 35 feet away, because ain't no way.
Hey, how we going for the fried chicken tangent? Goddamn. Who got the best fried chicken in Alaska? Like, you know, Cars.
Man, by far, man, that's a hard one. Who do you think? Cars. Okay. I wasn't expecting that answer. They do have some good fried chicken because when I did the spring cleanup for Seahawk, I ordered like 50 fried breasts from Cars. Juicy.
Chicken
They were
wings,
delicious.
wild wings and things got the best chicken wings.
But
just fried chicken in general. Yes, no.
I like the one Wild Wings and Things had. Those are pretty good.
You right with that. Wild Wings and Things got the best chicken.
You just meant like fried chicken in
I'm gonna tell you another place that got, and I say this might be the best fried chicken. Siam Cuisine. They got these fried chicken thighs, bro. Fried to perfection.
My thing is, when I go first, I'm not over on that side of town often, but when I go to an Asian restaurant, I want Asian food. I don't want chicken, you know? So, you know, I'm Jewish. We eat Chinese food on Christmas. So one time my friend and I, it was Christmas Day, and we had just got done smoking, and we had the munchies. And so we go to...
Which one was it?
A Chinese buffet.
Okay.
It was the worst smelling place I've ever been to in my life. It was in Ohio, but like, yeah. I don't know, what is that, Twin Dragon, the only Chinese buffet over here? And like, it was in East Dayton. So it's like just a bunch of like poor white people that were there with us. And it smelled like BO, and like there was no AC, there was no air, it was stuffy. It smelled like the water had just broke, the pipes were broken and busted light. But the food slapped. The best Chinese food I've ever had. Yeah, because
you're remembering that shit. You got PTSD. That's your body remembers, you know?
See, that's funny because right now my stomach's bubbling right now because from that.
Oh, we can wrap it up because the one thing I know, you're going to take a bathroom break.
I'm like itching to go to the bathroom right now.
Hey, bro, me and Mark still be talking about where old girls coming like,
if you know me,
DJ? I think
I
you went
take
to the
good
bathroom.
10, 20-minute bathroom breaks. Every single day, man, I cannot go to the bathroom without my old supervisor coming into my office like, what the fuck, where's DJ? Like, literally just walked out. You saw me walk out, go to the bathroom. Like, the fuck?
That shit's so funny, bro.
Never been micromanaged more in my life.
He like, what did he? I'm like, he literally just walked out the room. Like, literally,
and I didn't even do anything.
To the other door, you walk out your, maybe you should have walked through his door. You just saw him. That shit is gonna be hilarious, bro. Man, you can't win from losing.
Yeah.
No, I think she really was, bro, because she still
and then she tried.
She was like, how's DJ
oh, I love you,
I'm
DJ.
like,
I'm so sad to see you leave. Yeah, okay. Like,
shit. I be wanting to say the number, but I don't want to say it. But it doesn't say he got
You're
a
doing
six-figure
great.
reason to
Shit.
be great right now. That's why we can living life, you know, hey, man. You know, no, I was gonna say us 5-figure people still struggling out here.
living life large, man. Hey, go on.
Hey, shout out. We love an upgrade.
Hey, shout out to Chris. He just got a new job. He's gonna be starting soon. So, you know.
Hey, is he Jewish too?
Yes, sir. It's a big pay raise for him.
He's
You know, we're out
German.
here doing good things in the
Now,
Lieberman Schnell household. Nah, he's a Nazi. Yeah.
yeah. Now you in
Oh,
episode
looks
now.
like
We
he just
heard
got
you.
home. What up? Yeah, we did an episode without you.
Oh man, look,
You
I
said
gotta.
you
I'm
recorded
trying to
without
find
me?
me something, man. I'm just being patient right now.
Yeah, so there you go. There's your 2 seconds of fame.
Hey, there's always 2 weeks from now to get the ratings
Do
back
what?
up.
Yeah, he said our ratings are gonna go
The
down.
return of Chris
Yeah, we'll curate a episode for him.
shooting this shit, man. 2 guys.
All right, hey, it's another beautiful episode of just talking about life.
Summer's almost here.
But it's 7 o'clock. The sun's
All
still
the
out.
ice is
You know, the sun
melting
didn't go
from
down till
last
like
week.
9 p.m. last night.
It's beautiful.
I can smell it.
Beautiful. Yo, if it come out tonight, it was out last night, man. I didn't see
Man.
it, but I gotta start chasing again.
Hey, great northern lights weather out there, though. I'll tell you that much.
Wait till you get this ring.
Nah,
Your
I can't
bedtime will be
anymore.
9 p.m. Trust
the
me.
ring, bedtime's 10 p.m. every night.
Hey, man. I love being married. It's fun. You know, it's
Hey,
ups and downs.
that ring might
but
not
all
ever come,
around,
and that's okay.
8 out of 10 would recommend. I'll be lying if I said 9 out of 10. 8 out of 10 would recommend, you know.
8 out of 10.
God damn.
When he's off camera, it'll be 6 out of 10. I'm joking, Joni. Don't beat him up. Nah, you know, one day after I stack some coin, and you know, then I'm like, you know what?
Let's go to Thailand,
Maybe
bro.
it's time to find a wife, and then I'll go on one of those Asian websites where I can import one. Nah, those are ladyboys over there. All right, this is another beautiful episode of the Lower 48. This is DJ. That's Darrick. We are out. Catch y'all later.